Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Overshot, a paintball podcast. Just want to plug the sponsors before we get into our very special guest we have here, Dizana Sports, makers of the Ardor glove. I'm sure you guys have been hearing us talk about them a lot. They make the new, they got the V2 joggers coming out. Definitely go there. Use code Overshot down below. It's actually 10% now, so it's even better. And they actually just lowered their price on the joggers, $5. So get killer joggers for a killer rate. They also got some Ardor gloves that just came out. So definitely let them know that we sent you. Our second, sponsor for tonight will be Cousins Paintball, cousinspaintball.com. They got 3 unique playing fields. They got Staten Island, they got Long Island, they got New Jersey. So definitely go there for your paintball needs. Shop Cousins Paintball. Again, Overshot's always the code. So do that. And they also just got in the new Tiberius Scout marker for all you MagFed guys and everything like that in the first strike. So definitely check that out. They're having a sale on that. But for no further ado, we got Brandon Unger, Seattle Thunder, Adrenaline, a host of other different things. But normally we ask people how they started, but I think I'm kind of going to go off the cup here. I know you just won the WCPPL, Mike Hinman's league and everything like that. So I know you guys just took first place in there. I believe it's an open division, the premier division. So just kind of tell us how that was and what you played with and everything like that. And how that got linked up.
Man, it was a good time. I'll tell you what, WCPPL is a great tournament. It's right up there with NXL in terms of competitiveness. And sometimes I think it's even more competitive. So they have, this year they brought in this premier division, which I'm very fortunate to be able to play in. The premier division is like a semi-pro division, right? You're allowed 1 pro per team, depending on what their points are or how many points they have. So I'm a low point. I have low points for a pro player, so I was able to jump on and actually made a team. So I coach a team over here in Phoenix called Phoenix Rising, and we have lines out the wazoo. We had 1 D5 line, 2 D4 lines, a D3, and then our Premier League. So that was my line, right? And man, it was so good to play again. Like after being in quarantine for so long, I mean, I got to play a little bit of a 7-man mechanical event like a couple weeks prior to that, but I never really got some good X ball. So getting back into it at WC was just what I needed. And it's been a few years since I've been able to play a WCPPL tournament. So since I was on Aftermath back in like 2017, 2018, I started working the events. So I wasn't able to play them anymore. I was setting up the tournaments, reffing them, and then just doing that all the way through a couple years. And then last year when I started coaching Phoenix Rising, I started coaching them there. So it felt good to finally jump back in and start playing a tournament, after being in quarantine for so long. It was a good time.
That's awesome, man. So I know also you said you played a 7-man mechanical. So I know, listening to some of your past podcasts, you ended up jumping on Adrenaline, and that was kind of your first foray. And actually, we've played with Vegas before. Vegas is from our and stuff like that. So how was that 7-man, and then kind of jumped that into, playing the 7-man mechanical events?
So 7
or 10-man mechanical too.
7-man? Yeah. So I haven't played 7-man since, I think, MPPL, Huntington Beach. I think it was like 2011 or 2012. So it's been a long time, right? And then since it was a mechanical event, I was just stoked because I think mechanical is probably more fun than electronic, way more fun than ramping and things like that, because it's really just you versus the other person. There's no advantage, right? You can't just ramp with one finger. It's one shot per trigger pull. So going into it, it was kind of like a throw together team with some Thunder guys and then a few of our buddies. And it was up at Dave Baines' field, Capitol Edge Paintball Park up in Sacramento. And it was a beautiful field, man. He actually built up a mounds field, and it was honestly, I think we could play some 10-man on there. It was a good size mounds field, and it was fun ripping it over there with the boys. We got a little hyperball, couple hyperball games on there as well, and that was a good time. So that, like I said, that was my first tournament back since quarantine happened. So since NXL Vegas this year, but yeah, playing the mechanical event was a lot of fun, and then with 10-man mechanical, dude, I cannot wait until another event comes up. And I was, RIP Tim Montresor, man, he was just a legend in the game. Really, really sad to hear that ICC is not going to happen this year.
Yeah, I was devastated.
Yeah, man. That was going to be our what is it, like a reunion for Adrenaline, right? Just because we haven't seen each other since ICPL, so that was like January, and I was ready to get back into it. And so, hope someone has a 10-man event coming up soon. And I just want to get out there and shoot the bulls again. You know?
Yeah, I hear you. Mechanical is like what I like my forte. Like I don't really play too much X ball, so like I was really devastated. So like because there's only 3 events a year, it's the 2 ICPLs and ICC, and when one of them doesn't happen, it's like
it's a huge loss to the scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely. Home in Chicago.
That was my favorite event.
Oh,
dude, mine too. I just love seeing all the people there. Honestly, the legends you'd see out there playing again, and just seeing these guys that I looked up to, and people before I even knew what paintball was playing again. So it's a big bummer.
Yeah, it was so cool. Like I just love the fact that like on the lunch line, Moorhead was behind me, and like we had like a whole like 15-minute conversation waiting for our food, and I was just like, oh man, this is so cool. I feel like if I was at like whatever Vegas, like that would never happen.
Oh, totally, right? Because like in X ball, when it comes to an XL event, the pros like we go stage wherever we're at, we go straight to the pro pits, and then back and we leave, right? We don't really hang out a lot, so it's not like the divisional. But with 10-man, you get we got longer games or longer times between games, so we're just hanging out, having a good time. And I had the same experience, getting to see a couple of people like the All Americans was a big team for me kind of growing up that I always kind of looked up to. And then when 10-man really came back, I saw them, and there's a lot of dudes on that team who, I kind of idolized, I guess if you want to call it that. And I was fortunate enough to get a practice in with them last year before ICC. Adrenaline, we flew up to Pittsburgh to get some practice on the field. So it was cool playing with those guys. And then, like you said, you'll be in the lunch line, you turn behind you like, oh shit, that's Ryan Moorhead.
Yeah, Frank Connell's from our area. We ball with him all the time.
Yeah, Frank's awesome, dude. Oh, and his donuts are delicious.
Dude, so good. So good.
Shout out to Dilly Dilly Donuts for sure. We we just put a team under, I wanted, it was an open 7-man down here. So he moved from Florida to New Jersey, and they were like, and we practiced woods ball with him and all this shit all the time. And I was originally like, I'm like, all right, I'm going to put the team together. And it started, this guy X's this guy, and it was getting out of control. And all of a sudden, I was like, dude, we don't need 12 dudes for 7-man. And like, there's 7 prelim points. Like, this is not going to work. People are backing out. And then Frank hits me up, and he just caught me on like the wrong day, dude. And I'm like, he's like, yo, can I play? And I'm like, dude, I have 1 million people. No, I don't need you. Don't worry about it. And then like, people are backing out, and then like he's like, well, if I'm not going to play with you, I'll play with someone else. And I'm like I want him playing with someone else. I was like, yeah, Frank, you can play with us. I was like, but do you have a bag of pods? Because we don't have any pods. Like, be the dad of the group and bring the pods for us. So he ended up playing. We played under Overshot Factory. We got first place. You know what I mean? I mean, we kind of had a more. So it was like open, but there wasn't really. It was more like D4 teams, a couple D3 teams, and we had like Frank Connell and some D1, D2 players, and ended up taking the win. JC Whittington came. He played from Bad Company. He played on Arsenal. But yeah, no, man, we took the W. It wasn't mechanical or anything, but Frank was out there with his American Adrenaline. He's like, can I shoot mechanical? Like, yeah, well, it's uncapped semi. So he was ripping that thing more than Adrenaline Shocker, baby. You know what I mean? American Flag Edition, ripping that thing, dude. Like nobody's business.
Oh, yeah, dude.
It's so nice looking.
Oh, yeah. And then, man, the Adrenaline, like the trigger on it is just perfect. So you get people ripping it. I think Aaron Rios, I think it was Rios.
Yeah.
It might have been another one of his teammates, maybe Kierman. They were there. James, one of the guys, founders, owners of Adrenaline, he clocked them, right? So he had the Virtue Chrono, where you can see how fast they're shooting, like the BPS. Right. Mm-hmm. And they were like topping out at like 13, 14 balls per second on a mechanical gun. Like that was wild to see in person.
Yeah, they were measuring it, I think, at ICPL, like I think it was Florida, but when they were in October, like not the January event. Yeah. And they had my boy on ground zero, Eugene, and they had him clocked at like 13.7 or something like that.
What? Yeah. Dude, that's crazy.
Dude, that's ridiculous. you know, I mean, and I think he's what, like third place or second place, dude. I mean,
I think he is third. I know Rios is above him.
Damn.
Dude, I can't shoot that on anything, bro. You know, I can't shoot that on a 12.5 fucking PSP mode. That's why when they were like, it's uncapped semi, and I was like, oh, fuck, man, I can't shoot fast at all. And then the one game I played, so I was like, I put it together, and then, you know, it came to a point where I made the team too much better than my skill level. But the one point I played, they're like, Frank's like, yeah, you'll go. I'm like, Frank's like, you just sit me on the bad teams. So Frank's like, dude, just you got to shoot this way. And all of a sudden, I'm like, I missed my shot, and the dudes, they're doing like a fucking flying V down the field, and like they bunker Chris, and I'm like, what the fuck? I shot that guy, so I'm shooting the other guy. I'm like covered in hits. I'm like, yo, ref, like I'm good to wipe it off. And then like Frank comes off over to me. He's like, we win the game because like, as my buddy Michael says, he's like, dude, I got in the stake. I look up, everybody was dead. They went to the ref, and the one ref was like, it was a Russian lady, and she was like,
yeah.
He's like, what happened? He's like, they run down the field. They all dead. You win game. And he's like, okay, whatever. I come off, and Frank's like, what happened? I'm like, I missed my shot, man. Just missed my shot. So everybody's just laughing, like, dude, you really missed it. I'm like, nah, I know, because I didn't want to shoot this. I didn't want to shoot our own guy back in the head. And then I just saw it, and I'm like, I fucked up, man. I fucked up. But they all started getting majors and shit, and I just hit in the bunker, and I'm like, we're good? All right, cool. Shit's clear. But how'd you get linked up with Adrenaline, Unger? Not to go on my own story. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're good, man. Actually, Corey hit me up. Corey Field, so the owner of Seattle Thunder. When I first joined Thunder, I was telling Corey how I've never really played mechanical, because I know they've played mechanical before, like clearly because they're old, but they recently played mechanical and things like that. And I never played all these formats like hardball, 10-man, and shit like that, and I always wanted to. So Corey called me up one day and said, hey, I got this guy who's looking for Snake Player, and are you still interested in playing 10-man? Fuck yeah, let's go. So, you know, he gave my number to James. James called me up, and literally like right there within like 5 minutes, I was on board. And I think that was a couple months before the first ICPL event. So it was quick how it happened, you know, within like a couple months span of me joining Thunder and then getting an invite to Adrenaline. But man, dude, I'm so happy it happened. I'm blessed to be with the guys that I'm with on Adrenaline. I mean, you guys know Nicky Vegas. He's like a big brother to me. I love hanging out with him. Nicky Cuba, all the boys on this team are just great players and just good human beings. You know what I mean?
Yeah, those two guys are all from our hood too. So it's kind of funny you mentioned those two guys.
Yeah. Miss those guys, man. I can't wait to get back with them. That's going to be a fun event. Oof,
yeah, because your team is like all over the place. So it's kind of hard for you guys to like meet up. Like we just had a big ground zero practice two weeks ago, and like a majority is between the amateur and the pro team. Like a majority of people were there. So it was like nice to see everyone again.
Yeah, that is the bad part, right? Because like I'm in Arizona, Dearman's in Colorado. The majority of the guys are in like, you know, Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio, that Midwest area.
Yeah, and then Vegas is in our neck. I see him in the airport. Like every event, I see him in the airport
all the time. So it's tough to get together for practice. Like we were just talking, like literally yesterday, about when we can get another practice in, because I heard there's going to be like some tournament practice the ICC weekend or the weekend after. I think I don't know when it is, but. It's tough because we got to coordinate so many schedules, you know. I mean, fuck, it's 10-man. So
yeah,
trying to do that, and then all my teammates are all grown ass adults, so they have families and kids and
lives.
Yeah, to look over. So, you know, me, I'm just a single 24-year-old doing whatever the hell I want.
They're balling out, man.
Trying to, man. We just moved into a new house right now. I'm actually in my room right now. So my parents, we just moved here to a new house. It's pretty nice, man. It's like on a lake and it's beautiful. It's there. My mom was like, this is the last time I ever want to move. I want to pick a nice house. Don't have to do anything else. I'm like, no worries. Do your thing, Mom. And then I'll be moving out again to another spot with one of my teammates coming up here in August. So I'm just living the dream, man. Just doing what I can. I got my home gym in my garage, so I'm set.
Yeah, right. You can get after it. It's all you need.
Oh, yeah. All the time. That's what I did this morning. About to go do it again after this. Got another workout plan, so it'll be good, man.
Yeah, man, you got to get after it. We're going to get to, because I know fitness is a big part of your life and a big part of your business and stuff, but we were just like talking to somebody, and I was like, bro, like, I don't have a lot of free time from the podcast and working and stuff. So during my lunch break, instead of eating, I run 2 miles. I'm like, so I ain't got time for people that like aren't about this, like grinding. I ain't got time for that people.
Facts, dude. That's the one thing I do not like. Is just working with, people all the time want to hit you up. Oh, hey, I want to work out with you. Hey, I want you to train me, so on and so forth, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, cool, we'll talk to them a little bit, kind of get their goals and just kind of figure out where this conversation is going to go. But ultimately, like for me, like if I'm going to invest my time into somebody to write a program out, then I expect them to put the same amount or more effort into the program. You know what I mean? And when they just make excuses where like time, right? You know how it is.
Yeah.
You're busy, but you still make time on your lunch break. And it's what you make of it, honestly. So
it's so easy to have an excuse. It's so easy to be like, oh, I don't have enough time. Oh, I'm a little tired. But like, whenever I talk to people and they want to get better at paintball, I'm like, do you think the people that are good are saying that? They're going there, oh, man, I'm not going to run today because I'm tired. Or, man, instead of, drinking water, like, man, what's really good? Fucking cream soda. Of course it is, but it's also terrible for you. Like,
yeah,
it's all about the decisions you make.
Exactly. And it's the small decisions that lead up to the big goals and for you to reach those goals too. And it's funny you mentioned about paintball too, because that's a huge one. Like here in Arizona, like when I first started kind of really coming up the ranks, like in going to semi-pro and then going to pro, in Arizona, there really wasn't much. I don't want to say there wasn't talent, because there's lots of talent, but there wasn't many people putting in hard work. Right. Now, this is years ago. Recently, I mean, there's a team over here called Scott's Elevation. They used to be a pro team, right? They got relegated. Now all those players have disbanded, got different teams or stopped playing. But they have a D5 team now. And the coach over there, Manning, he's a great dude and one of my good friends. But he's grinding out there with them every weekend for the past couple years. And they actually took first at WCPPL this week. It's 2 weeks ago as well, in the D5 division. So, it's the proof's in the pudding ultimately. And you can ask any pro player, any team that's really grinded and came up through the ranks. And, people think practice, they think scrimmaging is practice.
Right.
People are like, oh, we're going to go practice. So we're going to go to the field. We'll show up 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the afternoon, in the morning, even later. Sometimes they'll play 20, not even 20 points. I mean, they'll play like 10, 15 points. And they think they're good. They'll call it a day. And they think they're just going to
shoot a case.
Yeah, they'll shoot a case. And I get it. Like, paint's expensive. I totally understand. But it's what you do with that one case, right? That one case dedicated towards drills is going to be 100% better than just going out and just playing points.
Right.
Because ultimately, every game or point, I guess you want to call that, is just a series of situations. And when you play these games, right, you go through a tournament. Let's say you lose some 2-on-3s and some 3-on-4s, whatever the case is, and that happens in a tournament. You're like, okay, we need to work on 3-on-4s and down body situations. But then they go to practice and they just start playing points again. Mm-hmm. And reality, like, you want to get better at that specific situation, but by playing points, you're just hoping that you're going to find yourself in that situation again, instead of setting yourself up to drill and practice in that situation, right? A good example of doing that would be, I think it was like 4 weeks ago, right about 4 weeks ago now, where I practiced with Rising, and I had my guys play 4-on-5 all day. And that's just straight up off the box. So it's kind of like you're playing a penalty point. Mm-hmm. And that shit paid off come WCPPL time, because I had our D3 team took, I think, 4th or 5th. It's at 3rd, 4th, 5th. I don't remember what it was. One of our D4 teams took 5th. Another D4 team didn't make it out, but then our D5 team took, I think, 6th or something like that. And I mean, a lot of these guys haven't been playing that long, so it's really just drilling. I don't think enough people drill.
Oh no, I think the same thing. Everyone wants to get to practice and play points, but like, You'll learn so much more from just doing a corner drill for a little bit, or something even simple like that.
So true, man. Like, if you do play 10 points, how much time are you actually spending on the field those 10 points, right? If each game lasts an average, let's give them a high average of 4 minutes per point. You're spending 40 minutes of actual game time, and that's assuming you're live. You don't get shot off the break,
right,
or die in the middle of the game. You're spending 40 minutes on the field, and you're spending an hour and a half, 2, 3, 4 hours BSing on the sidelines. If you might be talking about the points, you might be talking about certain situations, but you're actually not on the field and developing those skills. But then if you take that one case of paint you have for that weekend, that's all you can allocate, just the one case, and you go out to the field and you do 1,000 snapshots, 500 left-handed, 500 right-handed. You break that down more, 250 high right, 250 low right, 250 high left, low left, right? You're going to spend a couple hours on the field.
Mm-hmm.
You'll make that case last. And it just honestly comes down to how much time you really spend on the field. If you look at any professional athlete or even youth athletes, right? Baseball, basketball, football athletes, they're practicing 4 or 5 days a week, even more so, and sometimes, and then add in their gym time. They're putting 10, 12, 15, 20 hours into their craft every single week. But at paintball, it's different, right? We got to pay for our paint. We got to pay for field entry. We got to pay for all this gear, and it's just a nonstop, money pit. So you have to maximize the time that you actually have on the field. And I think people want to do that. I think the issue is that they don't know how to do it. We tell, like, Travis and all of you guys know, like, okay, let's go drill. All right, but now what do we do?
Dude,
you'll hear people like, okay,
right.
we're gonna get to the field. We're gonna do a couple drills, then we're gonna go play points, or maybe the opposite. We'll save drills for the end. You get to the field, you maybe do a drill for like 5 minutes, and you're like, fuck it, let's just go play points. I just don't think there's enough kind of leadership to guide these teams and these players to the promised land. I mean, people want to get there, they just don't know how.
Dude, no, you're so right. Like, so many times people be like, oh yeah, let's drill. I'm like, all right, what drills do you guys want to run? Because like I don't really have like an X-ball team, and they'll be like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, well, how do you not know? What do you guys suck at? And do that drill. I didn't mean to confuse you with my question. I just want to know what you guys want to do.
Yeah, it's really not complicated. It's just ultimately about experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you never, it's kind of like common sense. Common sense isn't so common if you never told somebody, like, how to do a drill or what to do a drill or what or why to do it and things like that. That's probably another big reason. People see these drills and they hear about them, but they don't really know the why behind it. Or maybe they know the why, but they just don't see or understand, the why or how it can make you better. Like island drills is a good example, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get two. Let's say you're using 2 on the Druida side for team A, 1 on the snake side, and then team B has 1 on the Druida side, 2 on the snake. Ultimately, as the 2 guys, you want to go pick on it and shoot the opposing guy directly in front of you on your side of the field. But if you don't practice that situation, you won't be able to recognize those situations when they happen to you in the actual game itself. And I can totally attest to that. I was definitely one of those players who didn't really have the field awareness to be able to comprehend what's going on the field. I just knew where they were. I just knew it was back right, Dorito 1, and back left. But I couldn't put it together and understand that, it's just an island drill. We're gonna go forward. We're gonna try to shoot that one guy in front of us. But if we can't get him, we're at least gonna get one of the 2 guys cross field, because we're gonna catch one of those guys slipping. You know what I mean? But it's just because I've done the drill over and over and over that now when I'm in a game, whether if it's 10-man, whether if it's 5-man, 7-man, whether if I'm on the hyperball, woods ball, X-ball field, the situations remain the same. It's just terrain's different. You know what I mean?
You're right. It's like muscle memory. Like, so yeah, like exactly what you're saying is so accurate. Like when that situation happens in the game, you're not even thinking about it. You're like, oh, it's the island drill. I've done this. I know exactly what to do.
100%. And then from there, it just comes down to walking the field, right? And that's, I think, another lost art form that I definitely am not perfected. I'm not saying that I am the best at it. But what I am going to say is that 10-man has helped me with that.
Oh, yeah.
Big time, right? Because, we play what, 6, 7 games on a field. So if you don't know every angle and every shot, you're going to lose. Compared to X ball, where you just play point after point after point, you'll lose. You'll learn eventually. But
when you get that layout 2 weeks beforehand, so you kind of already played it a million times, maybe 1,000 times or whatever like that. And each ICPL, like, yeah, they did the same one at Florida twice, but I mean, they changed it up, you know what I mean? So it's not like, the woods in Florida, and that's why also I like this 10-man stuff, is the woods in Florida are different than the woods in New York, and California don't really have woods, to be honest with you, but you know what I mean? So it's like, because I know I've played all 3 of those, and it's like, I mean, now there's mountains fields everywhere. Everyone's trying to do a mountains field, but I mean, you could only play mountains in Pittsburgh up until, this year everyone is trying to jump on that. So, I mean, I seen what you said, you played Dave's. I saw Dave's. I thought that was sick. So,
yeah. Their center 50 structure was really cool too. Like, it's almost like a volcano. Not that tall, but like you go up and then on the top, like those kind of silly. Some of the refs were standing up there, but on the top there's like a little ring, right? And you can actually crawl into the ring. So if you're laying prone, you technically can't be seen, but obviously you'll be hit by airstrikes pretty easily. But it was still pretty cool. It was definitely a fun field.
Yeah. Did he have any woods at that, or was it just hyper and the mounds? Just
hyperball and the mounds. He actually has 2 hyperball fields. One is on turf, one's on grass. We played on the one that was on grass. And then we played the mounds field, and that was just all dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was cool, though. It was a lot of fun.
So tell us, I know, fitness is a part of, how you make some money over here. So tell us a little bit about that. I know you have a brand that you're trying to build up.
Yep. Ardor Performance. Yeah, so that's my fitness brand, man. For me, it's I love doing personal one-on-one coaching, right? So I do one-on-one coaching, and then I also do program design. So basically, I hit two types of customers or clients. One, the program design is if an athlete comes to me, they already have a workout schedule. They enjoy what they do. They're already dedicated. It's not somebody I have to carry their hand through. I can just design their program. Here's what you're going to do. This is going to get you to your goal. Have fun, right? That's pretty easy in terms of it's not very complicated to get that set up for somebody, right?
Yeah, and you don't have to be like, did you work out today? Did you?
Exactly. And, then on the other side of the spectrum, right, I do have one-on-one coaching, and I'm not totally anal about that. I don't get offended, but I do get upset when my clients don't work out because, like I said, I'm investing my time into you, so I expect to see that reciprocated. Yeah, so I also do one-on-one coaching, and that is where I go way more in depth on the fitness side of everything, obviously, but also the nutrition side, and then a little bit of the mentality side around fitness, because we're not motivated 100% of the time, right? And it's when you do find yourselves in those ruts, it's trying to figure out, okay, how do I get myself out of this rut? How do I get back on my routine? So the one-on-one coaching is definitely what I prefer to do because it gives me more hands-on approach with that client's program, right? So I'll design, obviously, their program just like I would for the normal program design clients, but now I'm checking in with you every week. You have access to me 24/7. And I use this really cool app to track all of your workouts. But the thing I like about this app is, let's say I do you have a trap bar deadlift plan, you have no idea what it is, how to do it, what the form looks like. You click on the exercise, and it pops up a video of how to do it. It pops up a description. And then my favorite part is it comes up with stats. So it'll show you all the weights, reps, and sets that you've done in the past. So if it's an exercise you've done previously, it'll show you, are your history. Okay, I lifted 250 for 10 reps 2 weeks ago. All right, I'm going to try to do the same thing this time. And then it'll also even have on there your 1 rep estimated max, gives you your total volume record, and a bunch of different cool statistics that as a trainer, it's cool to see, those stats progress and get better and better. But then on the client side, the best part about this app is their progress reports. So I always have my clients take progress photos, because how you look is, it's typically the reason why you usually want to get in shape,
Right.
or, but that's for me, because I just want to look good aesthetically. Obviously feeling good is one thing, being strong is another. But I want to be able to look good and feel comfortable in my body. So progress photos is a big one. And then, typical small stats like, body weight. If they're close, they're local, I'll have them do a body fat percentage. I'll go to my local gym and run that for them. But yeah, man, I love doing the one-on-one coaching. I got a few paintballers actually with me that are grinding them out, and there's pretty good progress. So I can't wait to get them through the next couple of phases, and then I'll be able to start kind of posting up some more content and showing you guys, that the shit works, man. What I do works. That's for sure.
Yeah, man, I've seen some of the results. That's why I wanted to bring it up, and I know you've been working hard on it. And I know it's so important to paintball. Like, one of the things I try and tell people is, like, everyone outside the car said, well, how do I get better? I was like, well, do you think you're in the best shape you've ever been in? Well, that's something that you could easily do to help increase your performance on the field.
Huge, big time, man. I think people underestimate that. How much?
I agree too.
Yeah. I think it was funny. I think listen to Play the Game podcast and Marcelo and Tyler.
I was gonna say Frazier and Oliver don't think so. They don't think so. Marcelo thinks so. Oliver doesn't think so.
I'm with Marcelo for sure, 100%.
How are you gonna tell me if you're not one step faster, there's not a better chance you're gonna run through that lane or whatever? Like, come on.
Absolutely. And paintball is definitely a mental game, right? Like, that's why you see all these old school guys who maybe aren't in the best shape of their life. Well, they come out and they'll just wreak havoc at all these 10-man mechanical events, because it is a mental game. It's chess, not checkers. But fitness,
my team is halfway decent, because I got Rosie and Mooner and all these guys that are like 60 years old, but they were still winning games.
Straight up, exactly. You just got to pull the trigger.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
They're like, "What? It's not that hard. You just got to shoot the other guy."
One ball, man.
It's one ball. That's all it takes. So, but as like an X-ball player, right? That's where the fitness and exercise definitely becomes crucial, because I'm sure you guys can attest to this too. even 2, 5, 10 years back, people were not in as good a shape as they are now playing paintball. People are understanding and realizing that this is going towards more of an athletic type sport, right? Excuse me. So if people want to make the corners off the break, they want to make the snake off the break, they want to be able to get up far, they need to be able to be quick, fast, they need to be agile, they need to be able to control their body. That's a huge one too. That way, you don't slide or try to do a Superman dive and scorpion or anything like that. Definitely been there. Can't. But then the stamina aspect of it, right? That I think is the biggest part, because it doesn't matter how big you are, it doesn't matter how much weight you can lift. If you can't play every single point in a tournament, you're definitely not in good enough shape.
Right. You got to be ready for a 5-round fight all the time.
All the time. And the best way to train for a 5-round fight is training for 10 rounds, right? So that way, when you get to the tournament, it's just like practice at that point. And I think that's one of the biggest things with paintball is a lot of people like to do steady state cardio. So steady state cardio would be, I'm sure you guys might know already, but the people who don't know, steady state cardio is where you keep your heart rate at a consistent range, or in a consistent range, or a constant range, I'm sorry, for an extended period of time. So that would be like, long distance running, riding a bike, swimming, those sorts of things. But I think with paintball, the biggest thing is you want to be doing high intensity interval training, so HIIT training. And of course, you don't want to be overdoing it and just only be doing those sorts of things. But HIIT training is definitely the best for paintball, in my opinion. Because in paintball, as soon as the game starts, you get that adrenaline rush. So your heart rate's immediately going to go up. So that's going to affect your breathing.
I get it at 10. Game starts in 10 seconds.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah.
And so you get that going. You run to your bunker. You're crouching. So, you're kneeling, you're standing, you're kneeling, you're standing. If you're a snake player, you're crawling down the field. It's not just upper body. It's full body. You're doing basically crunches. You're doing oblique crunches the whole time. There's a lot of different things that are going on. But as soon as the game ends, you have 2 or more minutes to rest. And, granted, in that time, you got to run back to the pit. You're talking, so you're still breathing heavy, but your heart rate does drop a little bit.
Right.
Then you go back on the field, right, and you repeat. So you get that high intensity burst, and then you try to bring that heart rate back down. So I think probably if I had to say one thing that helped me the most in terms of my athleticism when it comes to paintball and increasing my stamina and endurance was obviously it was doing HIIT training, but it was getting a heart rate monitor, one of those ones you like strap around your chest.
Yeah, like a Whoop strap or something like that.
Yeah, like a Whoop strap. I think Polar makes some as well. There's a bunch of different brands.
Right.
The Apple Watches and the Fitbits, things like that, they're okay, but they're optical sensors, so they're not going to be as accurate as a strap around your chest.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the reason why I'm saying that is something that I would mainly attest to, like increasing my endurance and stamina, is because I have my phone app open and I can see my heart rate in real time. So let's say I'm going to plan out a workout and I'm going to do just 3 or 4 exercises. Keep it super simple because it doesn't need to be difficult. But I'm going to spike my heart rate up as high as possible, probably like to 90 to 100%. I want to keep it there for an extended period of time, like 20, 30 seconds. And I might fluctuate back and forth between 70 to 80, 80 to 90, 90 to 100. But then I'll take that minute, 30 seconds, whatever my conditioning level is at, and I'll take that rest period. And all I'm doing in that moment of time is focusing on my breathing, right? I try to use some sort of breathing technique in through your nose, out through your mouth, obviously, and just trying to focus on bringing your heart rate back down. Because if your heart rate's up, that means your cortisol levels are up, which means you're stressed, right? Because the adrenaline's going. You're getting shot at. There's a bunch of shit going on. So your stress is very high. And when that happens, we start making bad judgments and bad moves on the field. So if you can control your heart rate, right, you can control your mind. And if you can control your mind, you're going to make better decisions on the field. So to tie that back into training, I'm going to get my heart rate spiked up really high. I'm going to focus on breathing, get my heart rate back down to a certain point, and then hit it again, right? Mm-hmm. Just repetition after repetition after repetition to simulate an actual paintball match. And I think that has definitely helped the best. I know it's helped because I can attest, I can talk to my clients, my paintball clients, and they'll say the exact same thing, like, this shit works.
Yeah, you could see the results in your play, man. I think you've been really killing it the last couple of years you've been on the scene, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man. I definitely feel better, right? I feel like my movements are getting cleaner. And that obviously I can attest that to drills. But fitness-wise, I feel a lot better.
Yeah. I remember when you got picked up by adrenaline, and I don't remember if it was ICC or an ICPL, I don't know, but everybody was talking about you because they were like, yo, the adrenaline just picked up the new kid from Seattle Thunder, and he's in the Snake, and he's fucking shooting everybody. I was like, oh, damn. Shit, dog.
I did have a couple good points. I'm not going to lie. That was for sure.
That had to feel good there.
Oh, I did, man. I was so nervous too. So before that ICPL tournament, so that was my first time playing 10-man, first time hyperball, first time woods, all that, right? That week prior, I was actually in California setting up the WCPL tournament.
Okay.
Because it was on the same weekend. So I'm going to fly out like on a Tuesday, go set up the tournament all week. And then I flew out, to Chicago, I think like Thursday. But that whole week prior, right, I'm nervous. I'm getting kind of anxious. And I was hanging out with Mike Hinman because we just stay at his house typically when we're setting tournaments up. And he's giving me a bunch of advice because, he played 10-man. He's on Dynasty. He's on some great teams. He's a great player. And I was asking for his advice, like, what do I do? I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do with this thing. And the biggest piece of advice that he gave me, and it definitely worked, was he said, as soon as you think you're ready to make a move, wait. And then, once some time goes by, you're checking things off. Once you're ready to make a move again, wait some more. Because it's just such a slower game. And there's so many more people shooting at you too. So especially being a front player, right, you're going to have more guns turned at you. But sure enough, his advice worked, and we won the first event, and that was a good time.
Yeah. So the last one, I was like standing near the podium or whatever, and Maddie was talking, and he's like, "What people don't understand is that these games are so fucking long." He's like, "I don't care if you dive into your bunker and suck your own dick for 8 minutes." He's like, "He's still gonna have 2 more minutes to close this game out." And I started dying. I was laughing so hard. He was like, "Yo, he's right. He's so right."
It's so true. There's some long ass games. Like so before before we got like our adrenaline guns, so I guess it was the first ICPL. We didn't actually have our adrenaline markers yet. Like I've never played with a watch before. I show up to the field. They're like, "All right, hey Unger, you got your watch?" I'm like, "Why the fuck would I have a watch? What are you talking about?" Like, dude,
I don't need that shit.
Yeah, I don't need that shit. I can count my head.
I was the same way. I played my first ICC, and they're like, "Oh, where's your watch?" I was like, "I don't have a watch." Like, well, how do you know what time it is? I'm like, "It's always go time." What are you talking about? It's always time
Dude,
to go.
yo, that's my motto, bro. That's
I know. You beat that.
I told you that one. You definitely stole that from me, man, because when I used to play before it was this ICC, Tom's League was the UWL or whatever, and we would play a lot.
Oh, no.
He's cutting out.
Yeah, he is. But yeah, that was his motto because we played the UWLs and stuff, Tom's League. And the old guy said the same thing, like, "Yo, I make sure everyone carry a watch, blah, blah, blah." And he's like, "Yo, it's always go time, man. Let's end the game. Let's get the flags."
Yep. Straight up. I love that. Dude,
yeah, but then, Rosie was like, "No, you're carrying a fucking watch." It's like, okay. You got
it. Definitely helps, right? Like, clearly, like, because, we have calls, time calls, obviously, because once it gets down to 1 or 2 minutes, like, you got to push. So it's nice to have
it out. Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool. Like,
ours is Charlie, if you want to know. It's Charlie 1 and Charlie 2. That's the time.
Ours is Tennessee. Shit. There you go. Man, I love how our adrenaline guns, we're super lucky. They actually have a timer in the frame, so I don't have to wear a watch.
That's awesome. My brother ordered one. It's actually out at Anno. He was actually hoping it was going to be here for ICC, but it doesn't really matter anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. What color did he get? Do you know?
No, I don't. I think gold is in it because of Ground Zero. I think it's black and gold.
Oh, there you go. Classic. Those are good. Their ammos are solid, man. They got a few guys working on it. Like, I know they have like Caustic, they got Blizzard, and they're just killing it with those ammos.
Yeah, I think he picked Blizzard because Blizzard is actually located in upstate New York, so we tried to go with the local guys.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, keep the gun circulating just around you guys. It'll be easy. Nice. He's gonna love it, man. I love mine. I have my personal one.
Right.
I made, and I love it, dude. It's Chad. So Chad Fuller, he's one of the other guys who originators of Adrenaline. He texted me when he's getting everything's kind of set up for me. He's like, "Hey, how do you want your trigger adjusted?" I'm like, "I don't know. Like, you do your magic. I don't."
Yeah.
I just give my gun to the tech, like, "It's broken. Help me, please."
That's what I do. So I'm lucky enough. So Dave, who's a big Planet Eclipse tech, he lives in our area too, and he's like my gun wizard. Whenever it doesn't work, I'm like, "Dave, I don't know, I broke it.
I broke it. Please fix it for me."
And he always does. He always does.
That's nice. Yeah. And speaking of like the shocker techs, those guys are awesome.
Yes, Russell hooked me up the last time because I have a CVO. And I'm like, I don't know, it's just not firing right. Like, it's being weird. Like, I had to hold the trigger down when I like turned on the ASA, otherwise it would leak. It was being weird. And he took it apart. And he was like, "Yeah, you got shot in your gun frame because in between like this one part, it was just like filled with paint." Took it apart. He cleaned the whole thing. Like, no, didn't ask for a single money. Like, I tried to give him a beer, he wouldn't take it. I was like, "Dude, you're too nice."
Dude, they hooked us up. They're so nice. Him, Craig, Tarzan, the whole crew. They're always taking care of us, Thunder at the NXL events, Adrenaline at all the, the other events. And then when I see the guys like overseas, it's just awesome to hang out with them too.
Oh, hell yeah. What kind of events do you play overseas?
So I've only been able to play two different series overseas so far. I got to play in Ecuador. That was my first time.
That's so sick.
Dude, it was nice. The field was probably like a football, like 100 yards off the beach. Probably like 150, my bad. But so we were staying at a hotel on the beach, walk out, we'd walk to the field, play, and then go straight back to the beach. And it was just beautiful out there.
That's so sick. Was this with the ball or was this X ball?
No, this was X ball.
Okay.
Yeah.
What team did you play for and what's the league called?
Dude, it's been so long. It was the 503 league.
Okay.
So they kind of travel around. They're in Panama, Colombia, Chile, Ecuador. They kind of go around a little bit. And then what was our name? It was something All Stars, I think.
Okay.
I don't know. But yeah, so we did that, and then I got to go to Australia twice and play in Super Sevens.
I heard that's so awesome.
Dude, the field, the owner, Michael Wybrew, he has such a great field and a good setup. The staging area and the pits are just really awesome. Everyone's like staging together. So it's kind of cool. Like you're bullshitting with all the other teams and the players. You get to know everybody. And then the field is pretty solid. Like you literally just walk out of the pits and you're on the field. They have 2 large pits that are actually on the field. So the teams that are playing will go in there and they'll set up and things like that, right?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, dude, all the refs are out there. Those are awesome dudes. All the refs are part of a 10-man bushball team called I think they're called the Bush Pigs. They're good dudes too. Like everyone's so awesome. And then they got a barbecue out there, by the way. That's what's up.
That's what they need in the field, more barbecues.
Full service, right? Exactly. It's not one of those wimpy George Foreman grills. No, it's like a straight up flat top grill. And they're just whipping out burgers, chicken sandwiches all the time. And he takes great care of the field, and the tournament is awesome. Everyone's super nice. And shooting 15 is absolutely insane, by the way. That was the first time.
I could only imagine.
It is crazy. We flew out early to practice. And I still remember the first point I ever played. I ran out. I shot through my hopper like 3 or 4 times because I wasn't used to going through my paint so fast.
Is it 15 ramp or is it 15 semi?
15 ramp.
Oh,
dude, it's like a machine gun. It's crazy.
That's insane.
It is. Yeah, it's so much fun. But so Super Sevens and then the 503 League are the only 2 international events I've gotten to play so far. And I was really wanted to, if COVID didn't happen, I was planning on going to Europe this year, even Asia. So I want to play World Cup Asia. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, a lot of people play those Asian events and they really like them over there.
Yeah, definitely. I think they'd be really fun I just want to travel more, honestly. Funny you mentioned it. Internationally, I saw Tim posted like a couple months ago. I think he was talking about the DPL league or some league in Germany.
In Germany, yeah.
Yeah, and I posted on there like, oh, dude, that looks so cool. I would love to get out there. And, this is speaking to how great Tim was as a friend and as just a person. He immediately hit me back, said, hey, man, dude, let me get you on a team this year, and we'll get you out there. It's a dream of mine to go play in Europe because I just want to travel,
Yeah, I hear you because like I'm 33. Like I didn't really start playing tournament paintball until I was such later in life. Like aspirations of being a paid pro are not there, but I would love to be able to travel, like and go and like. That's why I'm kind of upset because now everyone's like the Woodland Masters or whatever the week after ICC. Now the dudes on my team are like, oh, I want to go play and do that. I was like, yo, that's sold out in 30 hours. If you guys wanted to do this, we should have been on it. You missed the boat.
Yep, clearly. Damn. It's crazy, man. And I like to use paintball as like a tool to be able to travel and then go explore different places, right? So like some of the big spots, I want to go to Germany. I would love to go to Hungary. But other than that, I'd be like Amsterdam, pretty much anywhere in Asia, Malaysia, Thailand. But I definitely want to go over in terms of Europe, though. I want to go like to Switzerland. I just want to go everywhere, man. Honestly, like I don't want to discriminate. I want to go everywhere.
Right? You want to see cool stuff. Like I just recently run the big game. Like I do play a lot of big games and stuff like too. I don't know if you're into big games, but apparently there's a big game in Croatia that's on an island. And they like you got to take a boat to get there, and you literally have to walk through like waist deep water to get to the playing field. I'm so in on that. I'm so in.
Epic.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, financially, I don't know if everybody's able to do that, but like, damn, that's on the bucket list for sure.
Oh, that'd be a hell of an experience, right? It doesn't really matter about the paintball at that point. It's just you're being there with your boys and having fun.
Yeah, exactly. Like how beautiful that whole scenery's got to be, and then getting to play like even a little bit of paintball, so sick.
Oh, it was awesome. Yeah, man. Bummed COVID happened. All the travels got canceled. But
Yeah, I was just talking about this, but like my team was kind of on the rise. So like we finished 17th at the last ICC, and then we finished like I don't know, like we made it out of the semis at Florida ICPL, but like we didn't finish too high. And then the next time we got second, and I'm like, yo, we just keep going up. I just wanted to keep riding this train. And then it was like COVID-19, everything stops. Boom. I'm like, oh. I'm just like, yes, like waiting for something to happen. It's painful.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm excited for something to happen, but I don't know when it is, you know. So I hope something about XL will be posted soon. Like we were supposed to do those regional events, and I don't think that's going to happen because that was supposed to happen like in August. That's when they originally planned it, but
like me and Waldo were talking before. It's like if it was going to happen, they would have had dates already. Like it would have been out. This is when it is. This is where it's going to be.
Yeah, exactly. Do you guys think World Cup's going to happen?
God, no. I hope so. He thinks no.
I mean, dude, I hate. I've been so positive. I don't think it's going to happen, man. I don't know. And I heard they're trying to let wild dogs or something from South America jump in and everything like that, which I kind of get because I know they were going to take some of the Europe teams and then make them allowed. So World Cup's, you know, truly more of a World Cup. Cause I mean, I feel like when you play like in NXL Europe, there's teams from every country, you know, so, but I mean, some of those countries are smaller than New York State. So, I mean, you know, it's definitely a different world over there. So I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, I kind of heard, I mean, we just heard this, that I think Jeremy Salm's trying to do some kind of like pro tournament. So
that'd be cool.
I don't know how much that's out there, but I mean, we just kind of got an insight on that about an hour ago.
Breaking news here on Overshot, a paintball podcast.
Jeremy, bring your own paint or something like that. I think it's early August or something. Just because these teams, you know, they're looking to play, and it's something I think, you know, I've had people ask me, you know, I run. This is my first year doing it. An X-Ball league. I used to run woods ball tournaments, and I was sick of. We live on Long Island, so you got to drive 2 hours to go to the paintball field where there's any competition, which not that bad, but it's like, you know, then you drive in 4 hours to Massachusetts to play league. So I was like, all right, let's try to bring something a little bit closer. And I've had guys like re-rank this, and I'm like, yo, do I do an open division? And I'm like, yo, I'm not. I haven't done it too long, and I got it going good right now. You know, I only have one field, so I'm running 10 X-Ball teams in a day. You know, I could run 12, but if anything goes a little bit longer than needed, it's not going to really work. So I'm like, all right, I'll just do my 10 D3 and D4. You know, I looked at doing an open division, but then I was like, who's going to ref it? Like, we did this open 7-man the other week, and it was, you know, when you've had people that have been playing as long as they've been playing, and then you add someone like Frank Cano. Frank Cano's been cheating longer than I've been alive. You know what I mean? Not saying he was cheating at that event, but you know what I mean? I mean now he's just, you know, now he's like Frank, he's no longer Frank the Tank. He's like, you know, Frank the Prius. You know what I mean? He's a little more calmed down or anything like that. But you know, I mean, he's also a college football ref, so I feel like he, like, you know, now he's a little bit more like sportsman-y, a little wiser, but he was still messing people up out there. So shout out to Frank.
Yeah, big shout out to Frank. Hey, play it as it lies. If you're allowed to play, then I say play.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's kind of one of the big issues right now, I guess, right? Because like there's a lot of leagues that don't allow pro players, either because they just don't have the ranking system to allow it, which I guess that would be the reason why. So there's a lot of pro players who are just SOL. They're not able to play. You know, I'm fortunate enough to not be ranked as high as a pro. So depending on the league, usually I can get in and play like an open division or maybe a D2. I haven't really looked into that yet. I would like to go play like maybe an MSXL event or MSPA. I don't know what. And I think those are both two different tournaments. But
yeah, MSXL is the X-Bowl. MSPA is like I think your boys played. It's like a Woods Bowl 5-man or something.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense then. So yeah, I want to just go play more, just because like there's not many tournaments going on, and I think going back to like the World Cup event, like I love the idea of including more, you know, teams from around the world, but just what the issue right now is, right? Like as soon as they get here, they have to quarantine themselves for 2 weeks if they're even allowed to be here.
Right.
I don't remember if international travel is allowed. I'm sure it is, but like I don't think anybody can afford to live here for 2 weeks before you can go, right? And then they got to quarantine when they get back home, and it's a huge logistics battle. And like World Cup, I just don't think it'll happen. Just there's too many teams. I think it's just too many people.
Too many variables.
Mm-hmm. So I think these regional leagues are going to start thriving more because we don't have the national leagues to look up to. So okay, what's the next best thing? Well, it's the regional leagues for sure. The West Coast, it's WCPPL.
Yeah,
that runs the entire West Coast. And if anybody's out there has not played one, and you're missing out on a huge opportunity because it's cash prizes. You're shooting a lot of paint. You're playing a lot of games, having a lot of fun. It's all X-ball. There's no 5-man. So X-ball all the way from D5, D4, D3 to the Open Premier Division.
Mm-hmm.
And I think these regional leagues are going to start popping up more, or they're just going to, explode in a good way.
Yeah.
No, I could say that because I think, my first event, I only had 5 D3 teams, but it was like right after COVID. So I felt like, but then the next one now I have 10 D3 teams, and there was a couple teams that missed out. I've had people, they're messaging me, yo, can you do this? Can you do that? And I'm just like, I'll try. You know what I mean? Don't think I haven't looked into it. You know what I mean? And obviously WCPPL is such a strong league that for the longest time, West Coast teams weren't even playing NXL.
Yeah,
they weren't even going to NXL because they're like, dude, this is like you said, good competition. It's local. The prizes and everything are good. And I think he's actually the longest running. Yeah. He's this gold standard in any regional league or even any paintball league, man. I can't even because there's a ton of teams.
Yeah, dude, we had almost 100 teams in our. I think it was the third or the fourth event last year that we set up. So we actually had to run 3 fields. So I know there's other division or regionals that run 2 or 3 fields, but dude, for the competition and for the amount of teams that are out there and for the quality of the tournament, that's number one to Hinge and to Jerry Van Cleve. He's the other guy who runs the tournament. Huge shout out to Jerry, man. He's my boy. They put in so much work to make sure the quality is there because that's what it's all about, right? Because if you don't have fun, you're not going to come back. That's just the bottom line. So I think these regional leagues are just going to start popping up everywhere, and I hope that more regional leagues pop up for these pros because we need to start playing again.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. Man.
Waldo, you got anything else? We've been going for about an hour, man. I think it's.
No, listen, I got a couple. I had a couple. We went through the WCPL. We did the 7-man or anything like that. So something that, I was kind of thinking, I know, you kind of play. I don't know because I got in and out of this a little bit. Sorry about the connection, guys. But so have you ever played any big games? I know you're out of Arizona, right? So have you played any big games?
I have not. So Travis, you mentioned that. I have not played a big game, and that is on my bucket list, dude. I love the objectives. Like that shit just sounds like so much fun to me. All right, let's go capture this flag and hold this area for 20 minutes, and then you get to respawn and things like that. Like, that's so sick.
Yeah,
I've always wanted to play one, and that's another bucket list goal that I want to hit soon, preferably.
Yeah, some of the objectives get wild. Like one of my good friends is like the game manager. And one of the new tricks he's pulled out is you put a mannequin in a tree and he's got a lock on it and he hides 10 keys on the field and you got to find the right key to rescue the prisoner. It's fucking crazy.
That's wild. People are shooting it the whole time.
People are shooting the whole time.
Dude, that sounds like so much fun. I love that kind of stuff. It just makes paintball just way more fun. That sounds like a blast. What league or what big game is that in? What's that
that's Cousins. It's called Dark Ops Extreme. They do 2 every year.
Okay.
And he's always got some I got to give it to RJ. He's always got some crazy ideas for scenarios and this, that, and the other thing.
For sure, dude. That's definitely, like I said, I want to play a big game. I think that's really the only other league or type of game format that I haven't played yet. So that's a big one for me.
Yeah, just like, I don't know, the craziest stuff happens, and I like it because it's fun. Like, I was just talking to someone with Richie that it's both things. If you want to take it seriously, you can. You can run right to the front line, start chopping people up, blah 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 blah. But maybe I was at the camp and I had a couple of beers last night. I'm gonna like kind of hang out in the middle, or there are people that never even leave the goddamn parking lot. Whatever.
Not me, man.
Do, yeah, I know, not us. But like whatever you want to do, there's something for you.
For sure. That's why I love it. There's all different walks of life that come and play these big tournaments or try the big games. And it's just cool. You're all there for one reason, and that's just to have fun with each other.
Just play paintball. Yeah, the aeroball guys are mixing it up with the dude with the tack vest. It's got 6 clips on the front.
Yeah, clip up.
Everyone's mixing it up.
Dude, I love it. Yeah, I want to shoot. If I go play, I'm definitely gonna get me a Q loader, that big backpack loader
thing. Yeah,
that boy, that'd be fun.
One of my friends has that. It's insane.
That sounds like so much fun. Just unlimited ammo, just running around. Go refill when you need it, respawn, and I'd love to go play like Living Legends or Decay of Nations or basically any big tournament. Big game.
Big game.
It's all right. It's all good.
There's some really sick fields. Like Sherwood Forest is one that's in Ohio, and they have like a multi-tier like castle. Like there's some really cool places to go.
That sounds pretty wild. I'm down for that.
Dude, let's go to like Russia where like they have like, because there's no real laws there, so there's no like dudes are drinking like with their masks. So I mean, listen, I'm not promoting that either, but it's like you're playing in like an abandoned castle or an abandoned and like real freaking grenades and shit, like, or launching, like it's not no fake stuff. So like I don't know, dude. Those are like you talking about planes, NXL abroad, dude. Or like I played Woods Bowl abroad, dude. I want to play a scenario abroad because, like you said, I'm paddling in a boat to an island and we're playing the whole island and fireworks are going off or anything like that. So
dudes are throwing real life flashbangs.
Shit, that would be crazy.
Yeah, dude, it's like when we used to play West Point or whatever, and the dudes. I mean, now they don't do it because West Point Army Base used to have this game, and they'd be machine guns with blanks right next to your head and like freaking stuff going off in the background, like whistlers and banging, and you'd be like, holy shit, man. Like, well, I don't know, like some dude be having flashbacks in the corner, but
so the first year I ever played that, they didn't tell me that they do simulated mortar shots at 6 o'clock in the morning. So the night before, it's like a big game. We camped, so everyone's trashed the night before. I'm in my 10X, so it's like boom, boom. I come flying out. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? It was so loud. It's a simulated mortar, and I was bugging out. I was like, oh, yeah,
that's
do that
how they
every
wake
year.
you up.
Yeah, I was like, yo, is anyone going to fucking tell me this shit? God damn.
Damn, assholes. What the hell?
It's just crazy. Big games are insane.
Damn, I can't wait to play one then. Shoot, you just gave me stoked right now. My adrenaline's starting to spike up. Starting to sweat a little bit.
I'm getting excited about it. Now that I'm talking about it, I was like, yo, fuck, it's kind of sad. Like, they don't do those games anymore. I'm like, yo, man, I wish they would, man. I've missed those things. You fought
especially shooting 100 people. You know what I mean? It's cool shooting 2 or 3 people or 7 dudes in a 10-man, but like when you're in like some house with your boy, like us two, we're just sitting in some house and there's just swarms of people coming and you got to protect the house for 10 minutes or some shit. And you're like, I had my boy, like I took one of my airball buddies a long time ago, and he was like, and we use weasels for kills. He was like, Weasel 30. I'm like, dude, just keep shooting them. I know they're coming, bro. There's enough. It's respawn, bro. We're at their base. So we just got to take 5 feet up away. Like, keep clapping that same dude. He's like, dude, I've clapped this guy 9 times. Dude, we're at their base. Like, they just turn around, tag up, wipe their shit off, and come back, dude. Like, keep going.
That's amazing. Wow, that sounds like so much fun.
Yeah, you gotta try it out.
I'm gonna have to, man. There's a local field here in Arizona called AZ Battle Zone, and Rafi, who's the owner, he has this really cool setup where he got like this fake bomb, right? Mm-hmm. So it's got a keypad on it, and it's got sounds. So they'll do like the bomb game. So you have to go and activate the bomb. And as soon as you activate it, right, you got to press the keypad and hit enter. It starts beeping. So it has like a 60-second countdown. And then it starts getting closer and closer. I think at 10 seconds, it starts beating faster and faster and faster. And at the very end, it doesn't actually blow up, but it makes the sound.
Yeah, that's so cool.
it's a pretty legit setup. It's lit up and everything like that, so it makes it a lot of fun. But I think if you had like that in a big scenario game, that'd be a good time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Now, are you doing any of the ultimate shootouts or the whatever, the Pro Tour shorts version? Have you got invited to any of those things?
I got
on the team for that?
I would love to try it, dude. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I think I would want to try the ultimate shootout just because it has, to me, it's more appealing. Probably just more lights and shit like that. There's smoke. And it changes up a little bit more, right? Don't get me wrong. I love B Short's idea with the Pro Tour. I got to train with Tyler before he went out and played.
I was going to ask because you're both out in Arizona.
Yeah, so we're like, I'm probably like 10 minutes away from each other.
That's so funny.
Wow.
Yeah, so I finally have a sparring partner, so I love it out. Love it out here now. But I went to go try out, the format. Granted, we didn't have the full setup. We set up like towers and tall cakes and things like that. But it was really fun. And I think now how with the Pro Tour, like you start off, you guys have one of two spots to start off at, and it always switches depending if you win a point or not. I think that's really cool. But I think ultimately, in terms of like viewership, like I'm more attracted to watching the ultimate shootout.
Me too.
Yeah, I think I love what they're doing. I wasn't able to go and play just because of sponsorship reasons. But I feel like if there could be a few tweaks, and I would love to go play. And man, it just looks like fun. I'm not a huge one-on-one person. Like I don't like doing. I'm more of a team. I like playing with teams.
Right.
But I'll get down for sure.
It looks fun as hell.
Yeah, it does. I love how right before the game starts, it tells you if there's a buzzer that equals more points. I think that's really cool.
Right, because it's like a change of game plan within the 10 seconds before the game starts.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's a really cool aspect to the game.
No, so do I.
Definitely.
I think it's more dynamic, one, and then two. Like you said, the way that you watch it, I don't know. To me, it's like back in the day when I used to watch football, and it was like, I mean, I know it's like similar commentators and stuff like that, but I felt like, there's I'm from New York, so it's Jets and Giants, and I just remember liking the way the Giants, the guy was speaking more or anything like that. I think that's honestly like the turnoff, and I like that because I don't think in Pro Tour they're mic'd up, so I know in Ultimate Shootout they're definitely mic'd up. So I don't know. I like that end of it too. You know what I mean? I like hearing the shit talk. You know what I mean? We're from New York, NYX. I'm similar in that mindset or whatever. So I like it. I like the shit talk. I like the whatever.
Yeah.
I think there's anybody that succumbs to anything that Harris does is just weak mentally. Honestly, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I think you just do what I don't think it was to Harris. Maybe it was to Kraft, but I think it was Meter. They just shot by his feet, and he was already dead, and he shot him. And I was like, "That's smart, dude." I was like, I respect that because you're playing the game. He's like, "Yo, he was dead. Now he's shooting his gun." You know what I mean? I don't know. I kind of like that mental end of the game or anything like that. But wrapping this up, man, we'll definitely have to have you again. Maybe when you win. What events are you gonna do the WCPPL? Is that coming up again? Are you gonna do a team with the Phoenix Rising or whatever? That's the team you coach. That's your team for that league.
Yeah, so I'll be coaching. I coach Phoenix Rising through any league that we play in. So we'll play a couple Arizona local tournaments, and then we'll go and play all the WCs. So I'll coach our 2 D4 teams and our D5. Sometimes we'll have 2 D5 teams. So I'll usually have 3 to 4 teams that I coach at the tournament, and then I'll play as well. So so for this past event, we picked up 4 guys from Colorado Blitz.
Okay.
So it's 4 of those guys and then 4 of us. So it's 4 local guys. It's me, my buddy Cody, who I've known for quite a while. I played on a couple teams with him. My buddy Leon, and then kid Sean Stern. He actually plays on the USA, I think the U19 team.
Okay.
So it's us 4 and then the Colorado Blitz guys. So we're looking to go through and go defend our title for the next event. The next one is I think second weekend of August, like 14th, 15th, or that area. And then the next one I think will be in October. So those are for sure And then hopefully if ICPL Chicago happens, we'll go play that one.
I hope so.
I think that might happen. I just don't think World Cup will, but if that happens, great. Other than
because
that,
the ICPL is less teams, I think that's why it'll be easier for them to manage that.
I agree. But other than that, man, I don't really have any leagues. So if anybody's out there and you want me to come play, let me know. I would love to.
Pick him up. Pick up your boy.
Yep. Sport tournaments. Let's go.
He can play mechanical or speedball. You let him know.
Play it all.
He's got both frames. You know what I mean? You just got to swap them out.
Good adrenaline,
so he'll be good to go. So, Brandon, shout out your sponsors. Shout out. We'll hit you up after the next WCPPL win. And but shout out your sponsors. I know most of them. Some of them are similar. I don't know if there's any differences on Adrenaline and Thunder, but I think that's also why it works, because a lot of the same.
Yeah, a lot of the same sponsors. Man, I can't give a big enough shout out to Shocker. Shocker and obviously Adrenaline, because they're my team. Man, you always put me on the spot, and I'm never good at this. But yeah, so Shocker, Dye, Carbon's also another really great sponsor. CK, we got our field over in Oregon. Corey's field that he works at, Diamond Hill Paintball. So if you're in the Northwest, you want to get some paintball in, hit up Diamond Hill Paintball. It's a great field and great facility to play at. I got to give a big shout out to my buddy Patty Gleason and Off the Leash family. They're a huge reason as to why I got into and became a trainer, because Patty is just my boy.
He's got another great channel. His channel's awesome. Yeah,
I love his channel. I love following his stuff. Off the Leash. Seattle Thunder, man, all of our sponsors, love you guys. Same thing with Adrenaline. Couldn't thank you guys enough, because we wouldn't be able to play this game that we love without all the support from our sponsors, our friends, and the family. So just want to give a big shout out to Corey Field and James Graley. If you want to hit me up, if you're interested in training, hit me up on Instagram, the Unger Games 77, or you can hit me up on Ardor Performance, or hit me up on Facebook, just Brandon Unger.
Awesome, man. And real quick, for those that don't know, what does Ardor even mean?
So Ardor is a synonym for excellence, right? So I'm all about putting in your full effort and being excellent at whatever you do, but more specifically, just being the best person you can possibly be.
That's awesome.
Damn, dude. Couldn't have ended it better myself, guys. So appreciate, Brandon for coming in. Thank you all for listening. And just again, shout out to Dizana Sports, makers of the Grind Air gloves, the joggers, and everything like that. Shout out to Cousins, our home field, and subscribe, rate, and review. And definitely share this out, guys. Let everybody know, enjoy paintball. If you want to see any other guests on here, hit us on the DMs or anything like that. And definitely hit up Unger. And, if you want to be in shape, man, don't put on those pounds during the quarantine and everything like that, because once stuff gets going and, you don't want to be left in the dust, you're going to see who gained that 20 pounds and who lost that 20 pounds. So definitely hit them up and be safe out there, guys.
Cool. Thanks
guys.